the Art and Industry of Business and Living podcast, discussing conscious choices around business, money, life and living, and creating a greater future for you and the planet. Hey, welcome to the Art and Industry of Business and Living. You're with Simone, your host, and I am in Brazil. I'm in São Paulo, Brazil, and I love it here. I love that I get to travel all around the world and, go to these different places. And it's always interesting to me when you arrive in a country and it just puts a smile on my face. It's like one of the questions I'll always ask is, all right, so who was I here? It's like, who do I know? It's like, what other lifetimes have I had here? Because, some countries you arrive and you're like, and you get really funky. In other countries, I'm just happy. Like one of the countries I go to, which just makes me happy, is Russia. And everyone's like, that's weird that you're so happy in Russia. It's like, I love it. I love Brazil as well. This country has such a sense of adventure. It actually reminds me a lot of Australia in some way, except a hell of a lot more people, can I say? So anyway, I did a Kickstart Your Business evening class here in São Paulo, Brazil. And what you're about to listen to is part of that class. I wanted to give you all an idea of how we do these classes around the world. There's a lot of Joy Business facilitators around the world who do these classes, and Kickstart Your Business is an evening class. You don't have to have any prerequisites to come along. It's an invitation to, what more to come. I just did a Business Done Different class in Brazil as well, which was so awesome. It was kick-ass, not kickstart. It was kick-ass. It was a brilliant class. So you can actually buy those classes on my website as well, SimoneMilasas.com or accessjoybusiness.com. You can check out more classes coming up. So what we talk about here in the class is, we talked about hiring staff. It's like creating more revenue streams and, all those places that you avoid choices and, what energy you avoid in business, which, doesn't allow as much money to show up as what you could have and what you could receive. And one of the things I see a lot of people doing is trying to create a predictable result, especially with their business, which business can be one of the most adventurous things that you can choose. And as I always say, it's like you wake up in the morning, you have blood running through your veins, you're in business. Your life is your business and your business is your life. So I hope you enjoyed this. And if you would like any further information, it's like I said, go to accessjoybusiness.com, find a JCF, a Joy Business Facilitator near you. And most of them have availability for audio live as well, which means you can ask questions live. And I've got another Business Done Different class coming up in Mexico. So that is in the month of June, and it's actually going to be live streamed, so you can come on that from anywhere in the world. Actually, it's not in June, it's in July. I'm lying to you. See, just keep you on your toes. It's in July, the 19th to the 22nd of July, and it will be live streamed, so you can watch it from the comfort of your bed, your office, your home, wherever it is you desire. What I do have in June, live streamed in Mexico as well. How's that? I've been to Mexico once in my life, and now I'm going in June and July. I have the Relationship Done Different class that I'll be doing with Brendan Watt, and it's a 2.5-day class starting on Friday the 14th. So if you're interested in that, go check that out too. You can go to relationship.areyoussureyouwantone.com or relationshipsdonedifferent.com and find out a bunch of information from there as well. So in the meantime, enjoy an excerpt from this Kickstart Your Business in Brazil. Thank you, everyone. Obrigada.
So welcome, everyone, to Kickstart Your Business with Simone Milasas.
Yay!
My name is Sarah Watt, for those of you who I haven't met. I'm one of your hosts here to look after you tonight, along with
Simone Arantes.
Oh, Rodrigo Dantas.
And Douglas Rodrigues.
Douglas.
and
Thaisa Campos. And that one is Maíra, who is taking care of the online participants.
So we will not talk to you for too long. We'll hand over to Simone to do her thing. If you guys need to use the bathrooms, if you don't know already, they're just outside and behind the elevators. We have some coffee and tea and snacks just on the other side of this wall here. yeah, enjoy yourselves and have fun.
And we are actually speaking in English because there are people online that do not speak Portuguese.
Crazy, I know. Everyone
Yes,
should
being
speak
in Brazil
Portuguese.
and speaking in English. Hello. But yes, we are. So
So the handsome man sitting in the black box at the back right now is one of your translators. The other amazing translator, Norma, will be in soon. So if you guys have a question at all, please grab a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
This is so everyone in the room can hear you, so the translators can hear you, and so everyone online can hear you. These ones are different. They actually need to be turned on and off. It's very clear and obvious. There's a button. It lights up green when it's on. It's not green when it's not on. So turn it on, turn it off, and make sure you use a microphone whenever you have a question.
And if you, otherwise, it's not going to be recorded, your question. So you have to speak on the microphone so everyone can listen to you and can be recorded. Okay?
Anything else?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Thanks for coming to Brazil, Simone Milasas. You are a great gift for Brazilian people. Thank you so much for coming here to Brazil.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Yes, I was just checking out São Paulo, apparently. So I'm not sure if you guys heard, but I actually showed the guy at my hotel the name, and he goes, yes, yes, yes. And went and got me a taxi and told the taxi driver. And everyone said it's about 15 minutes. And I got there so quickly that I was like, and you know when you know something? And I got out of the taxi and walked in the lobby and I was like, this is not the right hotel. But I still went down the stairs, followed Sarah's directions, still did that, and then went, it's not the right hotel. So eventually, sorted it out with Simone, and here I am, went on another taxi ride and came here. The other hotel was very nice though. It looked like it had a great wine bar, so it might be one that you should go check out one day, okay? Yes. Exactly, yeah. Well, actually, I was there so early that I thought I could just have a quick wine at the bar, so I'm glad I didn't because I might not have been here now. So welcome everybody. And this is a Kickstart Your Business, okay? So you actually don't have to own a business. You don't even have to be in business. You can have an idea, and it's something that you actually want to expand, okay? A lot of people say to me, I can't come to one of your classes because I don't have a joy in business, or I don't have a business. You don't have to have a joy in business. That's my job, is to, empower you to get that you actually may have fun in business. And you don't have to own a business to come to these classes, okay? My point of view is if you wake up in the morning and you have blood running through your veins, you're in business, okay? Because your life is your business. So what are you choosing with that? And even though I just went to this other hotel and checked that out, how many times do you know something and you don't acknowledge that you know? Like how many times in business are you trying to get it right rather than actually follow what you know? So tonight is, it's a sort of an intro class, and it leads into the Business Done Different class, which we start tomorrow. And whatever questions you guys have, this is your class, okay? I know we have a bunch of people on audio live as well. So it's your class. What is it that you would like to get out of this evening? Okay? Is there anyone in here who's done absolutely no access? No? Everyone knows what POC and POD is? Going to have no hecklers in the crowd going, what the hell is that POC and POD stuff? All right. No one was dragged here. Was anyone dragged here? Like against their will? Told that someone would put out if they came here? No? Wow. Everyone, yeah. Everyone came here willingly. That's nice. How does it get any better than this? So, how many of you own a business? Nice. How many of you have a great idea and you'd like to put it into action? It can be all those people who own a business as well. You're like, yeah, I want to do more. I want to do more. And how many times have you been told that you're not meant to do too much? It's like, maybe you should, concentrate on one thing. My point of view is, if you have your computer open and you have, I don't know, if you have a Mac, you've got all the sticky notes or the amount of programs that you have open, the amount of, emails that you receive. What if that's the amount of revenue streams that you could create? and you were able to receive that many revenue streams? How many of you are trying to create your business based on this reality rather based on your reality? If you were choosing your reality with business, what would you choose? So everything that doesn't allow you to know what your reality is with business, where you destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what does business mean to you? And that can just be an energetic, awareness that shows up. And if you have something, you can, raise your hand and yell it out. And I'm sure someone who's my translator in the class? I know we've got in the box. Norma. Norma's outside, so don't yell anything out yet because we're not ready for her. No. And I won't understand you. So just anyway, energetically, come up with that. It's like, so what does business mean to you? Have you defined that based on how you grew up? It's like, where you live, your family. It's like how many of you have created your business based on the rules and regulations of this reality rather than your reality? And everything at that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. When I was at school and everyone used to talk about, going to university or getting married, having kids, etc., I was like, I want to travel the world and I want to own my own business. That was the two things that I was demanding. And everyone used to say to me, what sort of business do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. It's like, I want to create a business because to me, that was one of the most creative things I could choose. To me, with your business, it's so malleable. You can change it, you can create different things, you can empower people, you can invite people to a different possibility, you can contribute to the planet. There's so many things that your business can be. And it doesn't matter what that business is. I mean, I just found today I went and found a hairdresser, beauty salon, etc., and got my nails done, etc. They didn't speak English, the people I was working with. There were some people in there. But even energetically, the contribution that I know I was to them and that they were to me, there was such a sense of joy, which I've got to say, everyone that I'm actually meeting in Brazil has that sense of joy. No matter what shop you're in or restaurant or whatever, and when I say, do you speak English? And they look at me and go, no. And then they sort of, like in France, if you say, do you speak English? They're sort of like, no, and walk away. Whereas in Brazil, they want to sort of, you can feel them wanting to apologize to you, that I really want to help you, but I'm sorry I don't speak English. So they're trying to energetically create something. And it was really cool. They got one of their customers to come in, and the customer came in and she's like, what do you want? And it was this whole interaction that was such a sense of joy. Yeah, so congratulations for all of you guys who are creating your business as a sense of joy. And if you even increase that sense of joy, what could the world look like? Like for me, if every single business in the world was using Access Consciousness tools, it'd be a completely different place. Completely different place. There was a restaurant I walked into in Brisbane, Australia many years ago with Gary Douglas, the founder of Access. And we walked in and the guy looked at Gary and he went, oh my God, are you Gary Douglas? And he goes, yes. And he goes, you wrote the book, Magic, You Are It, Be It. And Gary went, yeah. And he goes, I've read that book, it's brilliant, And we sit down with our menus to order lunch. And Gary orders and the guy looks at me and I went, hang on a second. And I was just looking and he went, are you asking your body what it wants to eat? I said, yeah, I am. But it was so cool in this, beautiful restaurant in Brisbane, Australia, for this guy to be like that. Can you imagine every restaurant if they came up and were like, hey, what does your body want to eat today? Like in America, they always come up and they go, you still working on that? And it's like, I wasn't working on my meal in the first place, It's like, but it's this energy that, there's an energy that we can contribute to each other that will create a far greater place in the world. So what would it take for us to choose that, and what would it take for us to be that with our business? And what if you decided you being in business means? And everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, nine shorts, boys and beyonds. What would you truly like to create with your business? Like how big are you willing for your business to get? Are you willing to be out of control with your business? Or you're looking for a predictable result. You know, with joy, there is no predictable result. With joy, there's question, there's choice, there's possibility, and then there's contribution. So what if you could increase the joy in your business? It means you'd have to be out of control. How many of you guys are control freaks of magnitude? Yeah, it takes one to know one. I'm good at it. So let's do this. So if you claim, own, and acknowledge the control freak of magnitude that you be, it's like then you can actually use it to your advantage and you're not trying to avoid it. Like many years ago, I was in a class in New Zealand and I was at the back of the room and Gary said something to me and he called me a control freak and I was like, oh my God, and I was like, I can't believe he did that in front of the whole room. Everybody's going to know that I'm a control freak. And then I went, hang on a second, what part about that isn't really obvious anyway? So it's like, but then I had to look at it and stop fighting it. So how many of you are trying to fight to control your business, fight to control the amount of money that shows up or the amount of money that doesn't show up? Like how many of you have decided that your business is good enough if you've got just enough money to pay the bills or you're making just a little bit more than the person sitting next to you or behind you or in front of you? What if your business was so out of control that there was possibilities showing up from everywhere? And everything it doesn't allow that to show up, we destroy and uncreate it. Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So you have to be willing to receive everything. So what energies have you decided you're not willing to receive from? Like that's what I loved about when I walk around Brazil. And it's funny, yesterday I was walking with Sarah around the streets and when I first get somewhere, you're sort of like walking and you're casually, you know, the crowd's going by and you're checking things out and you're like, oh yeah, what's this, you know, and being very touristy. And today I was like, right, got to get there. And I felt like one of the Brazilians because I'm like, you know, running across the road and like, you know, being in amongst the crowd. It's like, so what could you choose with your business that you haven't been willing to choose that if you did choose it would create more of that energy of joy and enthusiasm that would allow you to be completely and utterly out of control? And everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So, because that energy of joy makes people want to go back, right? And it's like, you know, you walk into a clothes shop, you walk into a restaurant, it's like those people who are joyful, you're like, yeah, that guy was really cool, because I want to go back there. And then you tell everyone about it as well. So, how much would you be willing to increase the joy factor of your business? Of you. And everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So how many of you are trying to get your business right? Yeah. Guess what? You can't get your business right. So all you're doing is actually tormenting yourself and creating your business to be smaller and finite. Because if you're trying to get your business right, you're in constant judgment of your choices. And what if you weren't judging your choices? Like I noticed even, you know, going to the other hotel that I went to visit and then jumping in the second taxi, you know, years ago I would have gone to, oh my God, now I'm going to be late and blah, 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 you know, and I would have created this whole scenario of being, anxious and getting frantic and whatever, whereas like there's really nothing I could do. And it was like, all right, cool. Sarah pinged me and goes, you okay? And I was like, yep, I have no idea where I am, but I'm on my way. Like, you know, I'll be there when I'm there. You know, and so how many times do you judge what you've chosen? Rather than go, oh, one of my favorite questions in life and in business, what's right about this I'm not getting? Okay, so what's right about this I'm not getting? So the next time something occurs in your business and in your money flows, I want you to ask, what's right about this I'm not getting? Okay? And what possibilities are available that I've not yet asked for? And what possibilities are available that we have not yet instituted? And everything that is times a godzillion, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So, how many of you how many of you got staff? You've got people that you hire. Not that many. All right. So all the people who don't have staff and the people who do have staff, how much does it freak you out when you have to hire someone? Because now you feel like you're responsible for this person. Okay, there's a lot of people nodding in the room. So what if you weren't responsible for the people that you asked for to show up that exponentializes your business? What if you're actually willing to receive their contribution? Like if you're willing to receive their contribution and say to them, hey, you know what, I'd love to hire you. This is, I'd like this business to be huge and you've got to help me make money here. How many of you don't talk about money out loud? How many of you were told that you weren't meant to talk about money? Like, I'm not sure about you, but when I grew up at the dinner table, money in business was not something that we were supposed to talk about. We could talk about anything that had no relevance to pretty much anything, except we were not allowed to talk about business and money. It was considered rude. Whereas now, it's like, my stepson, if he asked me a question about business or money, it's like, I'd give him the answer. If he asks about how much something costs or what it costs to do something, give him the information. So how many of you, money is something that is considered, a subject not to talk about? And everything that is. Do you talk about money a lot in Brazil? Is it considered something that you're like, hey, I've made so much money this week, it's awesome, I'm doing great? No? All right, okay, so everything, it's like, shh, don't talk about it. It's like you whisper, money, yeah, drugs, all those bad words, gay. Everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and padona, in shorts, boys and beyonds. Instead, what if you were like, every day you were like to your staff, show me the money, let's do this, And it's like, and actually talked about money. Because everything you avoid, you are putting a judgment on it. So then you will create even more avoidance with it. So what are you avoiding with your business that if you didn't avoid it, would allow it to show up as more revenue streams? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and padona, in shorts, boys and beyonds. So not checking my Facebook status right now, just checking I have an oracle. She's putting the clearings in here for the amazing translators as well. So what are you avoiding with your business that if you didn't avoid it would allow it to show up as more revenue streams? So what are you avoiding? Do you notice the energy in the room where you sort of all went, oh God, I hope she doesn't look at me. Like, I will sit here and I will look straight ahead, but hopefully she doesn't look at me and nobody else does. So everything that is, and all of that energy where you destroy and uncreate it, right and wrong, good and bad, pock and padona, in shorts, boys and beyonds. What if you were the one that had that exuberant expression of joy and you were like, hey, yo, this is my business, show me the money, yeah, I'm going to make so much money this week. It's like, woo! It's like, what if you were that energy? What would it create? Or would you be too different? How many of you are doing everything you can, you're avoiding everything in your business so that you'll never be different? Which is really funny, because how different are you anyway? And have you ever fitted into this reality? Nope. So everywhere that you're trying to fit into this reality, and just be a little bit different, but not too different. I mean, pock and pod's different, right? And it's like, that's enough. And it's like, what if you were even more different? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Yes. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and padona, in shorts, boys and beyonds. So what are you avoiding? What choices are you avoiding? Sorry. What energy and choices are you avoiding with your business that if you didn't avoid it would allow more revenue streams, currency flows, and possibilities to show up than you can imagine? And everything that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and padona, in shorts, boys and beyonds. Now, when I talk about the energies that you're avoiding, there's like, many years ago, there was a guy had a men's clothing shop in Houston, Texas, and Gary Douglas was doing a session with him, and he was saying, you know what, I'm not selling that much at the moment, I really need to increase my sales, etc. So Gary went to his shop, and was talking to him, men's clothing shop, And he said, well, how much do you flirt with the gay men that come in? And he goes, oh, no, I would never do that. I would never flirt with the gay men. I'm married, And he goes, would you flirt with the women? And he goes, yeah, I flirt with the women. And he goes, why wouldn't you flirt with the gay men? And he goes, well, I don't like those types of people. And Gary went, you do realise that your men's clothing shop is in the gay section of town, right? And it's like, anyway, Gary, they got to a good point, and he realised that he could flirt with men, and it didn't mean that the men were going to, end up, grabbing him in the cubicle. So he was like, okay, I'll do that. But that was an energy he was refusing to receive from. So what energy are you refusing to receive from? It's like, what have you created in your business that you're refusing to receive from that you're not even aware of? Like whether it's, I don't know, young people, old people, a certain religion, a colour, what is it that you've, or someone who doesn't speak Portuguese. There's some people who would be intimidated by having to actually communicate with someone who doesn't speak their language. So what energy are you refusing to receive from that if you didn't refuse to receive from it would exponentialise your business and your money flows? Don't let the creek, it's like the... And everything at that is times the Godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. The haunted stage. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So what if even right now, what I want you to do is just lower your barriers. Like you don't have to come up and go, oh my God, crap, I haven't been willing to receive from Jewish people or Muslims or, whatever. It's like you don't have to judge yourself, but recognise it, okay? What I want you to do is just lower all your barriers right now and destroy and uncreate every single energy that you've been refusing to receive from. And everything that that is times the Godzillion we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. One of the things I realised that I was not willing to receive from years ago, I'm going to stop walking on that side of the stage. One of the things I realised that I was not willing to receive from years ago was incredibly, insanely good-looking people. It's like if I was dealing with someone who just had that, and I'm in Brazil, Jesus Christ, you've got some good-looking people here. But it's like, but that insanely good-looking, I'd already judged that they wouldn't, talk to me, or they wouldn't want what I have, or they wouldn't. I'd already put them in a category that I will not receive from them. Like, that's insane, right? So what insane points of view do you have where you've been refusing to receive from people, business possibilities that if you did receive from it would allow, again, your business to exponentialize?